in a scene described by one investigator as reminiscent of a weird religious rite. 5 persons, including actress Sharon Tate, were found dead at the home of Miss Tate and her husband, screen director Roman Polyansky. Miss Tate, who starred in Valley of the Dolls, was 8 months pregnant and was found in a bikini-type nightgown with a rope around her neck attached to the body of a man.
Further questioning, inasmuch as he was here on the premises during the evening. That is about what we have at this time in the preliminary investigation. This we don't know because the bodies will have to be made an examination by the coroner to determine the cause of death.
There's no evident cause of death in there?
Not that we can say at this time.
Is there anything scrawled on the front door of that house in blood?
I can't answer that question.
Where were the bodies found? All in one room?
No. 2 of the bodies were found inside the house, 1 in the vehicle, and 2 on the front lawn.
Were there any hangings?
Not that we can determine at this time.
Was there a body covered by a hood with a rope around its neck?
These are things that I can't give you too much information on at this time until the scientific investigation personnel make their full
Was there any
evaluation.
evidence of drugs there anywhere?
Not that I saw any drugs at all.
Did any neighbors report any noise, Lieutenant?
I'm sorry.
Did any neighbors report any noise in the area, any shots or things of that nature?
The neighborhood is being canvassed at this time. We do not have a report back.
Was there a party or what was going on last night? Do you have any idea?
We have no idea. This is what we're trying to determine. At this point, you must realize that we only have tentative and very meager amount of information. In the front room.
I mean, what was she wearing? And we understand she was pregnant. Is that correct?
Yes, she is pregnant, but I'm not going to discuss how the body was found or anything because these are things until the investigation progresses further.
Were the bodies badly mutilated?
This I'd rather not discuss.
Lieutenant, can you tell us anything at all about why all these wires above us here have chopped? Does this have anything to do with it?
We don't know, but of course this is being considered in the evaluation of all the facts concerned.
Do you have any kind of an idea who might have done it? Do you have any kind of APBs out, any suspects at all?
No. The only person we have at this time is Mr. Garrettson, whom we are questioning because he was on the premises this morning when the maid arrived.
What did it say when you arrived, sir?
Investigation of the bodies, and Doctor, if you have any comment that you want to make on that?
Yes, we examined 5 bodies in this vicinity, and we have completed a preliminary examination. As to the time of death and the cause of death cannot be disclosed because we have not had sufficient time to examine. And this examination will be done in whole of justice, and we'll continue work this afternoon, and information will be available perhaps tomorrow morning.
Can't say gunshots before then, or stab wounds, or what? Gun or knife?
Well, these are various wounds that we will not be able to tell for sure, and for the purpose of investigation, we felt that a detailed examination is warranted before disclosure of the type of wound.
Isn't that unusual?
It is unusual in a sense, however, it is necessary.
Doctor, how were the bodies in the house lying? Was there a rope passed between them or a rope around their neck?
Well, I think we would like to conduct a further investigation before we can disclose.
You can't tell us anything at all about where the bodies were found, what positions they were in, how they were clothed?
I think this, that we are cooperating with the police department. We thought this such
Information, revealing this information now might tip off a suspect, or...
Well, the reason being is our investigation is just not complete.
Is there a possibility of a suicide in there at all among the group?
This, again, would depend upon Dr. Noguchi's findings.
Were any weapons found beside any of the bodies?
No weapons were found.
Any drugs found since your further investigation?
No drugs.
Has the houseboy been booked on suspicion of murder?
Yes.
That's only tentative.
Just a brief rundown for all of us in general. I know you're limited in what you can say, but just a brief rundown of what you are at liberty to say.
What's occurred?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the maid came this morning at about 8:30, Winifred Chapman, found the bodies, immediately notified the police department. We've responded to the scene and are making our investigation with the specialized technicians from the crime laboratory and with the coroner's office and the investigators that will be responsible for putting the case together.
Sir, did she find all the bodies or just the young man and this rambler here in the driveway?
She just made a short observation and saw that there had been a crime committed. She did not go into any detail at that time, and I have not interviewed her, so I cannot answer.
Why is this case more complicated than other cases that you can't comment on it? Well, what's the difference in this case?
Well, how many cases and how many times do you have five persons that are found murdered at the same time?
How'd they die?
This is the thing that we're waiting, of course, until Dr. Noguchi can complete his
Well, you used the term,
Lieutenant, you used the term murder. Now, are you saying that all five were murdered?
We don't know. These are things that we'll have to determine with our investigation and the Dr. Noguchi.
Was there evidence of a party in there?
Not to my knowledge.
Any narcotics involved in this at all?
Not that we know of.
Was there evidence of a fight anywhere?
Struggle. This, again, I'd rather not comment on because the investigation is not complete.
Lieutenant, was the ignition on?
At 8:30, Lieutenant Nadar. At 8:30 this morning, Winifred Chapman, an employee, came to work at 10050 Cielo and found several bodies in the house, and immediately the police were notified. The tentative identification of the persons are as follows: Sharon Polanski, J. Sebering, Abigail Folger, Wojtek Frykowski, and another man who is unknown. The identification was made by a friend, and it's tentative at this time. Phonetically, we're given V-O-Y, T as in Tom, E-C-K, and the last name Frykowski, F-R-Y-K-O-W-S-K-I.
Who made these identifications?
William Tennant.
Was he Miss Tate's agent?
He is known to these persons, and he made the tentative identification.
Say a man.
How the police found out about it? The maid called the police?
Right.
Why is he down at the station, Lieutenant?
How do you spell Garrett?
Garretson is spelled G-A-R-R-E-T-S-O-N.
First name?
William, and he's 19 years old.
Is the houseboy a suspect, or could you say that?
We're holding him for questioning is what we're trying to do to determine what information and knowledge he has pertaining to the crime.
Where was he when the maid came? Do you know that? Where did she find him?
He was found by the police. He lives on the premises.
In the guest house down on the slope?
Yes.
Do you have any indication that there was a party in progress, Lieutenant?
We have no information on that. Nothing to substantiate that.
Has her husband been notified?
Not by this department because we haven't had time.
Is he in Europe or the United
Yes, I understand he's in Europe.
Who's that, Mr. Pulaski?
Right. Good.
Well, as I say, it's lack of evidence that it's not sufficient. I think it's a question of no evidence.